I ain't gonna lie to you. I got a 6-1, maybe. I got a 6-1, bruh. Good body shot from Fulton. Good right hand from brother. Hey, let me run this by you.
We prepared well. It didn't go like we wanted, like we expected, but we always knew that only one David was going to prevail. The only thing that's left is to learn from it, move on, and be better next time.
The clash between David Benavidez and David Morrell was an electrifying showdown that kept boxing fans on the edge of their seats with its raw intensity. From the moment the bell rang, both fighters engaged in an all-out slugfest, each seemingly intent on securing a knockout. As the rounds unfolded, it became clear that Benavidez's experience and power were starting to take control. However, many in the boxing community quickly labeled Benavidez's victory as a clear robbery, with social media erupting in debate over the result. Fans, feeling Morrell had been denied what they saw as a deserved win, flooded platforms with strong reactions. One fan humorously tweeted, "David Benavidez gets arrested outside the arena after robbing David Morrell," reflecting the widespread sentiment that Morrell had been unfairly treated. Boxing superstar Jermel Tank Davis also weighed in on the bout, expressing his amazement at Morrell's agility considering his size. In a now-deleted tweet, Davis noted, "This is my first time seeing Morrell fight. Surprised to see him that agile." He went further, accusing the referee of bias, suggesting that the officiating had favored Benavidez. Well-known sports journalist Ariel Helwani shared his thoughts on the fight's entertainment value, calling it sick and noting it was just as good, if not better than expected. While Helwani's focus was on the thrilling nature of the match, he also acknowledged the fight's evenly contested rounds. Combat sports analyst Kaposa praised the dramatic shift in momentum during the final rounds, pointing out that just when the fight seemed to settle into a rhythm, Morrell intensified his attack, making the conclusion a tense and memorable one. Kaposa emphasized that while the fight wasn't difficult to score, Morrell's strong finish likely sealed the deal for him. Tensions between Benavidez and Morrell were palpable even before the bell rang. During a media workout leading up to the fight, a physical altercation erupted when Benavidez shoved Morrell during a face-off, prompting Morrell to throw his title belt at Benavidez. Security had to step in to prevent the confrontation from escalating further. In the fourth round, Morrell delivered a stunning right hook that left Benavidez on the ropes, showing a rare vulnerability. However, the Mexican fighter, known for his toughness and relentless aggression, quickly regained his composure. He began landing powerful uppercuts, breaking through Morrell's defense and pushing the Cuban fighter back, despite being on the defensive for much of the contest.
It was one of my mistakes where, maybe I got going a little too late. I was getting going in the last 3 rounds. Maybe I should have done that earlier, but it's something to learn from, and, something that happened in that fight that was a factor. 1 second, Rafael here.
Thank you. David, I wondered, when we were leading up to the fight, there was a lot of discussion about your relative lack of professional experience compared to David. I know you had the great amateur background. He had so many more pro fights. It seemed like that was a factor because he was able to slow it down, speed it up, and do sort of what he wanted at a lot of the times. I wonder if you felt like that the experience level was maybe a little bit much for you. I'd actually like to hear Ronnie's perspective on that also.
It was definitely one of the main factors in this fight where it didn't tilt the balance 100%, but it definitely was something that played a role in the outcome of the fight.
Benavidez continued to apply relentless pressure on Morrell as the fight progressed, showcasing his impressive physical strength and ability to withstand punishment. By the 8th round, the toll of Benavidez's attacks began to show as Morrell appeared visibly fatigued. What had started as a performance filled with flashy movements and showboating slowly diminished as Benavidez took control of the pace. As the rounds went on, it became increasingly clear that Benavidez was comfortably ahead on the unofficial scorecards. In the 9th and championship rounds, Morrell tried to mount a comeback, pushing forward with aggression in an attempt to steal the final rounds. However, Benavidez maintained his dominance, luring Morrell into his pace and continuing to dictate the action. A dramatic moment came in the 11th round when Morrell scored a knockdown on Benavidez, stunning the crowd, yet controversy soon followed, as the referee deducted a point for Morrell for punching after the bell. This decision shifted the momentum back in Benavidez's favor, preventing Morrell from capitalizing on his brief success. When the final bell rang, the judges awarded the victory to Benavidez with two scores of 115 to 111 and one of 118 to 108, declaring him the winner by unanimous decision. However, the result was met with widespread criticism, including from WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Tank Davis, who accused the referee of bias. Davis took to social media to express his frustration, claiming that the referee's actions had unfairly influenced the outcome of the fight. Benavidez, nicknamed the Mexican Monster, boasts a formidable record of 29-0 with 24 knockouts. Known for his relentless pressure, powerful punches, and unyielding determination, he has been on a mission to establish himself as the dominant force in the super middleweight division, with hopes of one day facing boxing icon Canelo Alvarez. In the build-up to this fight, Benavidez did not hold back in expressing his disdain for Morrell, accusing him of disrespect and vowing to make their clash a brutal one. The press conference only added to the drama, with Benavidez's fiery remarks and a physical altercation further fueling the animosity between the two fighters.
David Morrell and David Benavidez are going to fight.
Yeah.
Is that a fight that you're...
Oh, got it. Yeah. Well, the story with he and I was, I met him when he was a kid, and he told me, I'm going to be a world champion someday. And then I run into him and he's a world champion. That's happened to me so many times, usually with MMA fighters, not boxers. But that's when I was sort of kicking the tires of boxing yes, I will watch that fight, if that's the question you're asking.
David Benavidez, American from Arizona, from Phoenix, Arizona. Debut 2013 through 2021. I think he is still fighting. His last fight most likely occurred in 2021. Oh wait, November 13, he's got an upcoming fight versus Jose Uzcatagu, Colombian. But his last one took TKO, took place March 13, 2021. 24, and we got another undefeated.
On the other hand, David Morrell, the WBA regular champion, has built a reputation as a slick, powerful, and technically skilled boxer with an undefeated record of 9-0, including 8 knockouts. Morrell is determined to prove that he deserves to be at the top of the super middleweight division. Despite having fewer professional bouts than Benavidez, Morrell has shown no fear in the build-up to the fight. His defiance was evident during the press conference, where he refused to shake Benavidez's hand and even threw his championship belt at Benavidez's head, sending a clear message that he wasn't intimidated and wasn't backing down.
Man, no secret for everybody that Benavidez were, you know Robocop? Hey, stop! Yeah, that's it. Look, the Benavidez versus Pound, it's 12 round. This time is the really secret. I never fight Plan before. I think so. Plan not have too much power for Benavidez. So he's the big guy. He's stronger too. So you have the good lefts. You training hard. You have power. You have everything. Nothing. For you.
Keep your head up.
I can dance. I move. I can dance. Benavidez can dance. That's it.
The tension between Benavidez and Morrell reached a boiling point during a media workout in Miami. On December 17th, 2024, their animosity escalated into a physical altercation, further intensifying the build-up and raising the stakes for their upcoming light heavyweight title fight. The confrontation only added to the anticipation surrounding the clash, with fans eagerly awaiting the showdown between the two fierce competitors. Benavidez has been vocal about the personal animosity between himself and Morrell, stating, "He doesn't like me, and I don't like him." This tension was on full display in their pre-fight interactions, including a heated exchange during a media workout where Benavidez shoved Morrell, prompting Morrell to throw his WBA interim title at Benavidez. Canelo Alvarez, the undisputed super middleweight champion, weighed in on the situation, making it clear that he felt Benavidez deserved the win, stating, "Benavidez won that fight." His comments suggested that there are forces working to keep Benavidez from challenging the sport's biggest star, hinting at the ongoing speculation about boxing politics deliberately sidelining Benavidez in favor of other matchups. Alvarez's call for an immediate rematch resonated with fans and analysts alike, who felt the controversial decision had created a barrier to the high-profile fights that the public was clamoring for. The rivalry between Canelo and Benavidez has become one of the most discussed topics in boxing over the last few years. The animosity stems from Benavidez's relentless pursuit of Canelo's super middleweight titles, which Canelo has consistently avoided. Fans and pundits alike have speculated that the matchup between these two is being delayed for reasons beyond just the fighter's skills, with many believing it's a matter of politics and timing within the sport.
In terms of moving back down to 168, is that out the window now?
I'm not going back down to 168. I don't care if Canelo, if he wanted to fight me and told me to go down to 168. I don't care about that money. I don't care about none of that. I was at 168 for a while. 3 years. I was #1 contender. I was not given that opportunity, so now I'm here at 175 fighting the guys that have balls that actually take on their #1 contenders.
Have you completely lost hope in that fight happening?
I don't think about that fight. I mean, I only think about what's on the table, and I only think about what's ahead of me. I knew that this fight was potentially, we could make it. We made it happen. Now I'm only thinking about this fight and then unifying the titles after.
Andre Ward, the former champion turned ESPN analyst, offered a more balanced yet pointed analysis, recognizing Morrell's technical skill while ultimately siding with Benavidez's case. Ward acknowledged that Morrell's defense was impressive, but he argued that Benavidez's effective aggression should have been the deciding factor. Morrell's defense was brilliant, but effective aggression should have swayed this. Benavidez did more to win rounds, Ward remarked. His commentary highlighted the tension between tactical boxing and the more straightforward appeal of sustained pressure, emphasizing how subjective judging criteria such as clean punching, effective aggression, ring generalship, and defense can vary from one official to the next. Meanwhile, veteran trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas delivered a scathing critique of the sport itself, saying, "This is why boxing's dying." Atlas felt that Benavidez landed the harder, more decisive punches and was the one truly forcing the action, while the judges rewarded what he saw as Morrell's running. Atlas expressed frustration with how Morrell's lateral movement was perceived by some as evasive rather than strategic. His comments resonated with fans who believed Morrell's slick, defensive style prioritized survival rather than domination, clashing with the more visceral, fan-friendly appeal of Benavidez's relentless attack.
I think the purer puncher probably is Morrell for one shot. He's the less experienced guy, but he's got that Cuban background, with the amateur pedigree, over 100-something fights. He's got experience. Even though he's got a lot less fights professional, he's got experience. He hasn't fought the resume professionally that Benavidez has, so that's in favor of Benavidez. The experience, always important. But also the pedigree, like I said, where he comes from, Cuba, how, you come from that island that from the beginning when you first put those gloves on, it's all about becoming a world champ. Part of it is to escape the communist country, to get to a better life, to get to where you can pursue dreams, to get over here where you can become a world champion. And that is all there. But Benavidez comes from those bloodlines too, where it's all about with him and his father, and his family. It's all about being a champion, staying a champion, being proud, representing yourself in and out of the ring as a champion. The power. Both guys are known for that.
Media outlets further stoked the controversy, with *, The Ring *, and * Boxing Scene * publishing unofficial scorecards that overwhelmingly favored Benavidez with a consensus score of 75-73, aligning with the views of many fans. The statistical breakdown and media analysis painted a picture of a fight where the judges' scoring seemed to diverge significantly from both the quantitative data and qualitative assessments. Social media platforms erupted with the #robbery, Drawing comparisons to some of the most infamous decisions in boxing history dot behind the scenes. Benavidez's camp filed formal appeals with both the WBC and WBA, though historical precedent suggests that overturning the result is highly unlikely. Meanwhile, Morrell's team, while open to a rematch if the financial terms were right, faced growing criticism. Their victory was overshadowed by accusations of illegitimacy, as the sport found itself once again grappling with a credibility crisis. The fallout from the fight extended beyond the ring. Benavidez's path to a potential Canelo payday seemed more uncertain, while Morrell's undefeated record came under scrutiny, with many in the public questioning the legitimacy of his win.
I definitely made a lot of mistakes that left me exposed to getting hit more than I wanted. Next question, over there.
David, I wanted to ask you a couple things. When it comes to a rematch, is that something that you'd like to wait maybe a couple years for before you jump back into it? And then if you can also elaborate on the difference in body shots. It doesn't seem like you really paid a lot of attention to the body like he did.
Next question. I'm not gonna wait like 3 years. That will be a long time. And as far as whether he wasn't looking for the body enough, that maybe that was the case. Yes, where I felt that I should have looked for the body more, but in that sense, you know, he was heavier than normal, and it wasn't like he was hitting me that hard either. Where like I wasn't feeling his punches a lot more than he was feeling mine.
With a remarkable 650,000 pay-per-view buys, the fighters' drawing power was clear, making a rematch an undeniable financial necessity. While Benavidez considered a move to light heavyweight, the fight's legacy will depend on whether boxing's leaders prioritize justice for Benavidez or let the controversy linger, risking further damage to the sport's credibility. David Morrell, despite his disappointment with the decision, praised Benavidez's skill and the tough challenge he provided. Acknowledging his difficulties during the fight, Morrell expressed pride in his own efforts, taking the loss as a learning experience and vowing to come back stronger. Benavidez defended his interim WBA light heavyweight title and captured the WBC light heavyweight championship with a unanimous decision victory over Morrell. His relentless pressure, body punches, and volume punching allowed him to control the fight, outworking and breaking Morrell down throughout the rounds. Morrell showed resilience and skill, but Benavidez's pace and physicality were too much. Benavidez's unwavering confidence before the fight proved justified, and the win reinforced his dominance in the super middleweight division. His relentless aggression, power, and precision left no doubt that he is the best in his class. The outcome has major implications for the super middleweight division's future. With this victory, Benavidez's push for a mega fight against Canelo Alvarez is stronger than ever, positioning him as a top contender and making a potential showdown between the two even more highly anticipated.
There's a huge demand for this fight, Dave Morrell and David Benavidez. For me, though, I never had a huge demand for it because I think it's a bit early for Morrell. And when you look at his last fight, Riyadh season, David Morrell didn't look that good. But a lot of people don't think David Benavidez looked that good against Volsik. I thought he looked great. I just thought he gassed out, but I thought he looked phenomenal. This fight, though, reminds me a bit of how they moved along Vargas. Remember when Vargas fought Trinidad? People wanted that fight until they saw it. He was a little too young and he was showing a lot of promise, but I think they moved him along too quickly. Don't be surprised if David Benavidez give him a boxing lesson. David Benavidez, I think he's going to show some movement, shoot the jab, be busy. I think Morrell has a puncher's chance. And I think it's a phenomenal puncher's chance because he's so athletically gifted.
Benavidez and David Morrell, right? This is the type of fights boxing needs. Two young fighters, great fighters in their division. They moved up to 175. They were at 168. The fight wasn't made there, but 175, David said, you know what, let's make this fight happen. The first few pictures, it looks like David has some weight to take off. He looks like the Tyson Fury of the 175, but that doesn't matter, right? It's all about your fighting technique, your fighting style. I think David Morrell has a great opportunity to showcase his skills, but I don't think it'll be enough to beat a David Benavidez. I think David Benavidez has a little bit too much power and too much combinations for David Morrell. David Morrell hasn't, fought anybody that is maybe top 2, top 3. David Benavidez has been in there with Caleb Plant, has been in there with some good fighters. So he is coming into the fight the favorite. But let me know what you guys think of that fight. All right, let me know what you guys think.
Had Morrell emerged victorious, it would have skyrocketed him to superstardom establishing him as a true contender in the super middleweight division. While his loss is certainly a setback, Morrell's performance demonstrated his immense potential and resilience, leaving the door wide open for a bright future. The super middleweight division remains an exciting battleground, with both fighters playing key roles in shaping its ongoing narrative. However, the fight wasn't without its challenges for Benavidez. In the early rounds, Morrell landed a well-timed power shot that hurt Benavidez badly, momentarily putting the undefeated Mexican-American in serious trouble. Then, in the 11th round, Morrell scored a dramatic knockdown, stunning the crowd and briefly shifting the momentum in his favor. But just as quickly as Morrell seized the advantage, he faced a controversial setback when he landed a punch after the bell at the end of the same round. The referee deducted a point from Morrell, a decision that sparked immediate backlash from fans and fighters alike. In a heartwarming moment following his father's victory, David Benavidez's son, Anthony, was visibly excited and proud, celebrating. Alongside the fans and media, Anthony showcased his own boxing moves, clearly emulating his father's style. His enthusiasm and joy were evident as he shared the victory with everyone, expressing deep admiration and support for his father's achievement.
There you go, there you go. This just makes me really happy because
Despite the controversy surrounding the fight, Benavidez's victory solidified his place in the boxing world. His performance not only earned him the WBA regular title, but also the WBC interim light heavyweight belt, positioning him for a potential showdown for the undisputed light heavyweight title later in the year. While Benavidez had previously expressed interest in facing Canelo Alvarez for the super middleweight crown, this latest win and new belt have temporarily put that dream on hold, as he now shifts his focus to the growing challenges in the light heavyweight division. Benavidez's future in the ring looks promising, with even greater opportunities on the horizon. His victory over Morrell was a true testament to his skill, power, and resilience. Despite facing adversity, including a vulnerable moment in the early rounds and a knockdown in the 11th, Benavidez demonstrated exactly why he's called the Mexican Monster. His relentless pressure, high work rate, and ability to wear down Morrell throughout the fight earned him a clear unanimous decision. The referee's controversial point deduction against Morrell for a punch after the bell added a layer of drama to the bout, but it couldn't overshadow Benavidez's dominant performance. With the win, Benavidez's focus now shifts to the light heavyweight division, signaling what could be the beginning of a new chapter in his career. While his dream of facing Canelo as super middleweight is temporarily on hold, Benavidez's future is filled with exciting possibilities as he continues to climb the ranks, leaving boxing fans eagerly awaiting his next move.
Yeah, I feel really good, man. I knew it was going to be a hard fight. That's why I trained extremely hard. You know, we're talking a lot of shit, but at the end of the day, we sold the fight. You know, a lot of people want to see, a lot of people bought pay-per-view, and it was a great fight. You know what I mean? I think I showed what level I'm on. You know what I mean? I don't know what percentage I landed at, but I landed a lot, you know, against a great fighter. What'd you say?
41%.
41 is pretty good. That's really good. And I don't think I got hit that much either, you know what I mean? So I think that just shows what level I'm on, fighting with great fighters like this. And I'm just excited to keep putting on great fights like this, you know, calling out the best fighters and fighting with them in big arenas like this. You know what I mean? This is what I'm made for.
David Benavidez's victory over David Morrell solidified his position as a dominant force in the division. His relentless pressure, resilience, and ability to control the pace of the fight made him a deserving winner despite the controversy surrounding the match.